Will's boy, Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. What you think, Will?
He's still my boy. I don't give a fuck about the content now.
Dude, you sound like his dad.
Yeah, dude. I got shout out Brian. I'm not gonna take it out right now, but I got his walkout shirt from I think the Jacare fight, signed by Weidman. My brother got it for
That's
me.
so
Pretty
sick.
sick. I've always been
Got
a
a
big
shadow
Weidman
boxer,
fan.
dude. Put in the background.
Oh, I know. It's just like I don't know. I need a house. Dude. I need like
Yeah.
this is just like this is just a side room. You know what I mean? I can't.
Uh,
I'm running out of shit to put on the wall. But look, Weidman's always been my boy. I know he's controversial for a lot of people, and this does not help. This maybe hurts way more. But look, USADA's gone,
is that Keith
and
Jardine in the background?
that's Travis Brown,
I
dude.
like it. Oh, my bad.
Nah. Look, he's always been my boy. I will defend him always. That being said, sometimes you make a mistake, and you choose the wrong path. But USADA's gone. He could take punches again, and he looked fucking awesome, dude. This was for a while. I was like, this is fucking vintage Chris Weidman because the brain has always been, he's a very good fighter mentally. He's mentally strong, dude. Mentally strong as hell. You hear about how he was bullied as a kid by his older brothers and stuff. Like, dude, brutal stuff. Like pushed him out of trees and shit. Like it's bad, dude. Like
They sound
he had a
evil.
dude. It's rough, dude. When he was champ, he did an interview where he was talking about it, and I was just like, God damn,
Oh,
I'm
my
so glad
God.
this guy's a champion. Like this, he's such a good champion to have. And you know, he knocked out Anderson Silva. It was a shock the world moment. It'll live in history. And then Silva snapped his leg against him, and then the Lyoto fight was awesome. The Vitor, he ran through Vitor post USADA, or no, in USADA. That was like the big, we're in USADA now, the USADA era. He ushered him in with Vitor Belfort. And then, he's struggled so much ever since the Rockhold fight. Also, classic fight. It was insane, a pure insane fight.
Yeah.
And the way it was stopped was so brutal, and he was kind of never recovered from that. But you could see the skill set was still there. Like he's still so good, but you would get caught. Everybody gets caught, and then if your chin holds on, you can keep fighting, obviously. And
Dude, he took some shots
dude,
last night.
yeah, he took some shots, and Bruno Silva hits like a truck, dude. You know?
Dude, there's this one where, like, Silva just threw this, like, long straight right, and it just
Yeah.
catches Chris Weidman, like, right around the end of the shot, and you see his entire head just whip off to the
Yeah.
side, and he just turns and looks back at Weidman and just resets. Not dazed at all, nothing. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, thank God
We back.
USADA's gone.
We back. And
Oh,
in this fight, one of the things that worked really well for him, they would go open stance, and he would throw that left hand first, southpaw, and then he'd switch. Real quick, we'll get to this picture in a second, but in that first round, he did such a good job of when they're in the closed stance, he would they were pawing at each other with their lead hands, and in that situation, you always want your hand on top of the other guy's hand because they have to then with their lead hand, yeah, that's what they're doing basically, right? And you want your lead hand on top so you can bring it up for a jab or a hook. And if you're below, you need to either lead with your rear hand, which is in a closed stance, not the best option. And in order to land your lead hand, you have to get your hand above first. You can't punch through their hand, right? So he did such a good job of maintaining that top control with his hand in the hand play. He was able to land that left hook, able to land the jab. But unfortunately, that game also required him to have his fingers outstretched, and he got real comfortable with that and landed some eye pokes. But we'll talk about that. First round, cracks Bruno Silva a couple times, lands a left high kick to start the fight, and I was like, hell yeah. And then hits him a couple times, gets him against the fence, nice knees. That's pretty much it. Round ends, they go to the corner. Rich, you could bring that picture up. Ray Longo cursing up a storm on national TV, and they throw up the "We apologize for any offensive language you may have heard" while we're watching people beat the shit out of each other. It's crazy.
classic.
And Ray Longo is just so good in the corner, dude. He's like, "Where the fuck is Wonder Boy?" Wonder Boy's like, "I'm right here, dude." It's so funny, dude. I love it. Second round, banger of a round, huh?
Yeah,
That
this is
second round
when
was
Silva
amazing.
starts extending his combos, man.
Yeah.
It
And
was
dude, they're
awesome.
just cracking each other. And Weidman's chin was there for it. There's a picture in here that I slipped in where he's like almost smiling as he's in the fire.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, Weidman is back right here. And yeah, come on, dude. Just loving life in there. But then he does eye poke him in the second round, and they have to stop it, and it's a bad one. And then, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like the technical stuff that I wanted to cover. Just good kicks from Weidman, good hand position to land that lead hand, great
But
chin.
but how about at the end of the second round where they're both trading, and
Yeah,
then
because he
the
hurts him.
round stopped? But yeah, and Weidman's telling them like, "Come on, bring it,"
Yeah,
and he's throwing back. Then the round ends, and they go forehead to forehead, and they're like,
both
"Yeah!"
smiling.
And then
They're like,
Silva
"Fuck
like
yeah!"
grabs Weidman's head, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" I was so pumped, man.
Yeah. So third round, they're trading. Weidman had him shelled up against the fence at the end of the second round. Third round, they're trading a bunch. They look. There was an eye poke where outstretched fingers from Weidman, lead punch, right punch from Bruno Silva. Where here's the fist, right? The thumb came like this because it got caught on Weidman's eye. It did go
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
There's going to be people who are. Let's not go to this picture yet, Rich. There's there's people who will say that was part of the punch, right? The thumb went in, but it was a punch. And then there's which yes, it was. Punches are legal, obviously. Whereas Weidman's he had outstretched fingers, very different, right? One's a punch, one's outstretched fingers. But there is a weird gray area that people will debate over, which is uh, it's still an accidental eye poke. Even though it was a punch, it was the thumb that got left behind and dragged across and went into Weidman's eye. So it came from a punch, but it is an accidental eye poke. And aren't they all accidental eye pokes, right? I don't really know where I stand on that, if I'm being honest.
Unless it's John Jones, I don't think those are very accidental.
No.
He's like,
Um, and then yeah, it's a tactic at that point. Real quick, shout out Austin. Can't stay to hang, but happy to finally catch a live stream for once. Last night was a weird event. Happy to see Weidman back, but dang, those eye pokes were brutal. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Shout out Austin.
hey, shout out
Perfect
Austin
timing
for sure.
because now we'll go into the finish. And Rich, now we can go into that other picture. Bruno Silva's rushing in, and Weidman is like, no, 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 trying to maintain distance with his hands. Hits him with the left hand eye poke. Hits him with the right hand eye poke. Hits him with the check hook. Check hook, he goes down. The 1-2 eye poke. Shout out Jesse. 1-2 eye poke. He goes down. Got him in both eyes. And Bruno Silva, he eats the check hook as he's already holding his eye, and he goes down. Ref stops it because he thinks it was the knockdown. And, it was the eye pokes. They give him a TKO.
First eye poke combo you've ever seen?
First eye poke 1-2 for sure.
That's right. And I was like, oh, is that a combo?
Yeah. They go
to the
back.
Eyeballs?
So they go back and watch it. They take away the TKO and they go to a unanimous technical decision for Weidman because at that point the third round had already started. The fight ended with a foul. With the replay determined it was ended with a foul. So they scored up until that point. Weidman won the first 2 rounds. He gets the win, right? That's what the rules are. That's what happens. Should he have been disqualified? I don't know. It's bad. For sure it's bad. What do you think? Because that's still my boy. And I'm very biased.
You remind me of the Dave Chappelle meme going around right now where he's like, did he do it? Yeah. But also,
Yeah.
like that's you right now.
It's my boy, dude. What can I say?
My problem with this is that there had been an eye poke before. There had been warnings where that ref was like, close the fist, both of you.
Yeah.
Fingers extended, close the fist. So there had been a stern warning with the first eye poke. There had been warnings without the eye poke when he was still extending his hand and his fingers. And then not only does he hit him with the 1, but to Jesse's point, he hits him with the 1-2 eye poke, the classic 1-2. And so if I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this overturned to a no contest.
That's never going to happen, dude.
You don't think so?
Athletic commissions do not overturn stuff. That's not going to
Man,
happen.
if there's ever one to do it on, I think it should be this one.
There's been
really
some
do.
strong cases. I don't think they're ever touching that. They never go back
this
on it
one's
because they never
rough.
admit mistakes. I think Copeland should have taken a point on the double eye poke. He should have taken a point from Weidman in that situation.
Copeland's off.
Yeah, he's real bad. Dude, every fight I watched where there was like something happening, it was him.
Yeah, give me Chris Tognoni over this guy.
Yeah. Bork Lesnar, dude.
Tognoni back there like, is this what y'all wanted?
Yeah. You guys could have had me in there. But I think you take a point in that second round from that eye poke where the double poke, you take a point from Weidman. Because like you said, he already had a warning. They already know you can't do this. You can't eye poke. Yes, accidental, all that stuff. But if you take a point, there's not going to be any more reaching with those fingers out. You can get away with it. Clearly, you can just keep doing it and get away with it. So why would you stop? Because it is very good to gauge distance and keep you in frame away, right? You can frame with a fist, but it's not as good. And if someone took a point, as my mom says, it's hard for you to say it. It is. But you need to start taking points, even though it's accidental, because the reality is it affects the fight no matter what. They know the rules. It's against the rule. It's not against the rules only for purposeful eye pokes. Accidental eye pokes are also against the rules. So just because it's an accident doesn't mean you get away with it.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of fighters going on publicly and talking about the gloves over and over and over again. I believe Justin Gaethje was very vocal about it last night too, saying like, "Hey,
well, because he's Trevor Whitman's boy."
Yeah, that's true. But he's like, not only do these gloves force your hand to stay open, but also cut off circulation in your fingers. Very uncomfortable, like going off, right? So something's got to be done, man. And we're just talking about one fight right now. The entire night.
The next fight, we're going to talk about it too.
Eye pokes, nut shots, you name it. There was a plethora.
Yeah. Austin says, before I leave, I'll say, is that with the replays available, this should have been a no contest at the very least. Like, are the rules suggestions or not? You shouldn't win by fouling repeatedly ever. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. No contest. Give me a no contest. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have DQ'd him. I would have just said no contest.
No contest is the right move, because I don't think he's purposefully eye poking him. Right? You DQ for purposeful fouls. I think. Austin says, like, it's the same exact thing with fence grabs. They literally slap fighters on the hands as if they're toddlers. We need to stop allowing people to get away with breaking the rules, intentional or not. You take a point. They know the rules. Yeah. And look, fence grabs are always intentional. You could say, as you're getting taken down, it's instinct to reach, but it's still intentional. You don't accidentally grab the fence and pull yourself up.
Or go old school John McCarthy and just be like, look, let's just start it again. Let's go. Let's go again.
Brutal, dude.
Let's pick up where we left off.
I think you have to take a point. You get one warning for eye pokes, I think, one warning for groin strikes. Eventually, people will be more careful with things like that because it's accidental, but it's really lazy. I think it happens because you're careless about it because there's no repercussions. So, you have to take a point, all this stuff. And Ganscow says, they can't do a no contest after the third round starts. The rules would have to be changed. I think they probably should. I think that's a weird rule anyways, But most of the rules
because they have to go to the scorecard, right? They have to go to the scorecard.
But most of the rules are just like ridiculous. And you're like, wait, why is it like that? And they're like, well, because that's what we decided when we made them. And you're like, is that the only reason? Is that what's best for the sport? And then they're like, we don't want to change our opinions because that's weak. It's weak.
And here we have the NFL changing rules every season, for player safety or all these different things that we get.
There's a middle area.
Baseball, I don't want that. They are ruining it though. Baseball's ruining it.
Yeah, it's
so is NFL. But I love the fact that they want to look into and say like, hey, if we have to make a rule change, we have to make a rule change.
Well, here's the difference. With at least I can't speak about the NFL, but with baseball, they keep changing rules because they're like, this will make more people watch it instead of this makes the game better.
Whereas you have the hardcores that are like, I'm not gonna watch this anymore.
Yeah,
making it worse.
Yeah. Chris Weidman's still my boy. I don't give a fuck. He's back. USADA's gone. Weidman's back. That's my boy. He will always
summarize.
Be my boy. And we can move on.
Hey everybody, Ramiro and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full
fight card recap. The link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Goes a long way. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.